Hello and welcome to How to Play Odd and Evens, a game for one player. This game comes to us from Solitaire by David Parlett. It is a two-deck solitaire, so we're going to need two decks, and we're going to shuffle them together pretty well, making sure that we incorporate both card decks pretty well. And then once we have everything put back together, just give it a quick riffle shuffle. And now we'll deal out 9 cards in a 3x3 grid. This will be known as our reserve. Our goal is to get the aces on the 4 left quadrants and the 2s on the 4 rights. We're going to be building up by skipping a rank. So for the odds, we'll go ace, 3, 5, 7, 9, jack, king, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and queen. And then for the evens, we'll go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, queen, ace, 3, 5, 7, 9, jack, and king. Once we're at king, the book is complete. As far as going back and forth between foundation piles, I do not believe that's allowed. We're allowed only one redeal in this game, but as you'll see, that will make it very odds against. And any vacancy that gets taken from the reserve, because you're allowed to play from the reserve or from the discard pile onto the foundations. Any vacancy that's left will be immediately be filled from the discard. If there's no discard, it will be taken from the draw pile. So as long as there's a discard, we'll play it there to the reserve immediately. And if not, we'll just take it from the draw pile. So we'll start off with that 2. We find another 2. We find that 3, but that's just not where it goes, so we'll put it back. We find an ace. We'll put that on the left side. Aces go on the left, and we'll find that 3 of hearts. We get to pick either one of those 3 of hearts. Now, the other 3 of hearts will be waiting for quite some time. And it's one of the things you can do in this game is you have the option to wait on certain cards if you want to play them later. It just takes a bit of mind. And the other skill you'll need to have is counting cards. We see that we have a 5 of diamonds. We just had a 5 of diamonds show up in the discard pile. We missed that 2 of diamonds, so we might be in a little bit of trouble there because now if we find that 4 we have, we can't play it immediately, which means we'll probably pass up that 6 of diamonds. That was a mistake, and it will happen in this type of game, is the odd sequencing that you're going to be doing of going ace, 3, 5, 7, 9, and the other side being 2, 4, 6, 8 is going to mess with your head. And then the sequencing is going to reverse once you get past the queen on the right side and you start going to the ace. You'll be going odds on the right and evens on the left at some point once you've gotten to that rank. It will confuse the mind, and that is one of the hardest things about this game. So we've already had our first redeal. So we need to get it in this point in order to win the game. If not, we will lose. So let's see what happens. Make sure I don't miss that other 2 of diamonds that I had earlier. That was quite embarrassing earlier to have missed that. But it will happen in this game. If you go through the deck and you don't have all 8 cards in the foundation piles, you have messed up, and it will potentially happen if you're not careful like I was. This is the first time I ever played this game, and so yeah, I had some slight confusion, had some slight errors in my ways, and it could potentially happen. So okay, we found that 2 and we found the 4, so now we have a 6. We need an 8 of diamonds, and so each time we were revealing a card, we're looking to see if it can be played on any of the foundation piles. And we have in vacancy, we'll fill it from the discard pile. And let's see, we'll just keep going and see what else we have that we can do. So now we've reached the even side on the left. So now it's kind of confusing the brain that we have 2 even concurrences going. I need a 10 of hearts, but I don't see that I have it at the moment. I'm getting short on my draw deck. So now we're both at the 8 of hearts on both heart foundations. So now I need a 10 on either side. And I need an 8 of spades on the right. Okay, we're to the queen. So once we get to the queen on the left side, we are complete. So we'll turn that book over. We'll fill the vacancy immediately. We'll go from there. Now we need a 5 on the clubs on the right, and we need a 10 on the clubs on the left. So this can get a bit difficult and a bit challenging at some points, but we will sojourn and do our best. All right, find the 9, we find the 10, find the jack. We don't need that yet. Alright, so therefore I would have lost because that was my second redeal, but like I always say with these types of games, let's go ahead and do a second redeal. We have only one redeal, we already did it. Let's do a second one. Let's see if we can complete this in 2 redeals. Because this is an odds against game, meaning most of the time you're going to lose it. It is a puzzle that if your shuffle is just correct and you're guessing as far as which card to skip and which card to play is correct, you'll probably win this game. But the truth of the matter is, I think it's one of those where you have to take the card first that you need, and if you can reserve specific cards, because of the 3x3 9-card reserve, it does make it a little bit difficult as far as strategy, as far as which cards to save, because you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room there. It really is going to be very dependent on if your shuffle for this game is just right. Because if it's not right, it's going to lock up mathematically. And it's not one of those easy calculations to do. It's not something easy to see. You're only given 1 redeal. So even after 2, I've still failed to solve it. Alright, let's just see what happens if we have 3 redeals. So add another coin. We now have a 3rd redeal. So you put the queen down. So that queen means signifies that it is ending. We need a king on the right side. So I should turn that queen of spades over to make sure I don't get as confused on it. So now we got our odds on the right, and now we're doing evens on the left. We're almost there on most of the left-hand quadrant. And in fact, I have that queen sitting right there. It's just ready for me. So now I know that those kings are complete, so I'll go ahead and turn those over. That'll give me all the kings there, and we got the queen. So within 3 redeals, I was able to win, so yay! And like always, if you actually want to play something besides solitaire out in public, come to our subreddit Card Game Meetups. Post your public place you'd like to play some card games at. Anywhere in the country is great, or even international is perfect. Do click on the show more for that link to that Reddit subreddit, and as well as links to other YouTube channels that I enjoy, as well as written instructions if there are any. There's also going to be a link to a Discord server where you can talk about card games all day, every day. It's a fun place and worth visiting if you haven't visited yet. So do call up your friends and let them know you'd like to play some cards. They might say yes, they might say no, but you never know until you actually call them. And sometimes you have to be the first person to do that. So do like, subscribe, and share these videos with other people you know like playing card games. And do vote in the community tab for this month's poll if we have one. I want to thank today's musician, and I'll see all of you next video.